Hello, I'm Eric Schaefer for Odyssey Networks. Recently, Odyssey was at Princeton University at a conference for the group Fellowship in Prayer, an Odyssey member. And because of the ongoing crisis in the Gulf with the oil spill, we asked participants and leaders of the conference about the oil spill and their faith. Here's what they said.
I think each time we choose to destroy part of God's creation, we end something. It's the beginning of an end. It's a very slow death. And I think that the oil spill is another indicator that we are slowly killing ourselves, our environment, the ecology, the great power and force of nature that God has provided to us. And so if you want to talk about the end of time, we're certainly moving in that direction. I don't think that the oil spill says that it's imminent, but certainly it's another step towards slowly getting us there. And I think that until we wake up and see that we are slowly killing ourselves and our planet, then we're headed for that destruction. Well, I've been a bit troubled by how we're praying about the oil crisis in the Gulf. We had a national day of prayer, at least they asked from the state of Louisiana that we make it national, but they actually had one in the state of Louisiana. And some of the prayers that I heard, the petitions at worship services, troubled me in that, God, please stop the leak. And I'm thinking, well, God didn't start the leak, and God isn't necessarily going to stop the leak. It's up to us to stop the leak. But what I hope the prayer about it does is get us in touch with the deeper reasons of why that oil spill has occurred. I mean, I think it's based in greed. I think if what we've heard about BP is true, that they took shortcuts because of money and to try to increase their profit. And this is seemingly the result of that. And so I think if we can allow the prayer to touch hearts for the deeper reality that this isn't what is most paramount, this isn't what is most important. Profit is not the highest value. Capitalism is not the highest value. That there's something about being stewards of the earth. There's something about protecting what God has given us. There's something about allowing natural resources to, yes, help support us and help enable our lives, but not by raping the earth, not by taking what is not ours to take. And I think if there's any way that we should be praying about this disaster, it's how do our hearts change so that we don't become people who focus so much on the subduing of the earth and the taking from the earth, and are much more the stewards of and the safeguardians of the earth.
I think that a lot of times when people think about prayer, we think about it as we're calling upon God or some higher being to intervene in human life. And I think what the experience in the Gulf tells us is that we as human beings make all sorts of decisions and do all sorts of things that create crises in the world. And my belief is that what prayer does is invites us to really be transformed ourselves. It's not so much about having God sort of reach in and do something for us, but it's about opening ourselves up in a way that says, what is it that we should be doing differently? How is it that we should be approaching life differently? And the whole crisis in the Gulf says to me that for a very, very long period of time, we've seen ourselves as the center of the universe. And it's about time that we begin to realize that we are a part of a much greater universe, and that we need to be able to understand that we have a responsibility to care for the earth, to really be conscious that the earth is as much a part of our life, being, our source, that in a way, our spirituality, God, higher power, whatever you want to call that, is at the center with the earth there as well. It's not just us, like we're not just at the center of the universe. From my faith perspective, one of the things that I guess I've carried with me through my own life is the whole notion that when you look at that symbol from the east of the yin-yang, it's the sign for crisis. And what it reflects is the notion that every crisis is both danger and opportunity. And it seems to me in my own faith, I think that crises can be viewed in from either perspective. And I think people that say it's the Armageddon, it's the end, you know, this is disastrous, are looking at it from the perspective of the danger that it poses, and it does. But I think that there's also that other side to it that is an enormous opportunity. I think it's a wake-up call. I think it's an opportunity to say to us, what will you do differently? How will you set the course for the future? Because at every crisis, we are at a point of decision-making. And so we're looking at the danger, we're looking at the opportunity, we're deciding what side of that we're going to come down on. And to me, looking at it as an opportunity opens us up to the possibilities. It opens us up to all that can be, and can be done well, and can be done right. It's an opportunity for hope. It's an opportunity for commitment, for renewed commitment to doing things well. And from my perspective, this is a wake-up call to all of us that we need to pay attention to the earth. We need to be attuned to the earth. We need to recognize that we hold in our hands the power to destroy it or to renew it. And I think that it really is, for us, an opportunity.